You lot have no respect. No respect whatsoever for my expectations, do you? They're in tatters. I could not have ever imagined that the response would be so great. The votes have been absolutely fantastic to read, and I will really enjoy going through them. There are some things to do before then, though. Let's head into the next cycle. Returning to the real world now, it has been quite a while since the votes were cast, I'm sorry about that, so hopefully this will be a reminder of what you said as well as what everybody else said, and I can meld it together into a running narrative for each of the sisters, hopefully. The final push to the end of the game is really arduous, so there should be plenty of time to go through whatever I feel like, which is great because this could serve as a recap of the game as a whole, as well as all of the theories that have been floating around. This game really does give you just the right incentive to revisit all the places you've been.
Have you decided to take the short path back? Don't rush things. All of the easy ways only lead down. Or haven't you understood anything? A human life is a chain of voids. The sleeper is the one who lost you. The void is you. You have a chance to part with the one who lost you, the one who ceased to live, and to present him with a new life. So return and finish your deed with dignity. Take what's best from him. Let him live. Then you can try to be born again, spirit.
How can I free
And you'll
myself
make it.
of this burden?
If you don't disappoint me.
Once again, we're in pursuit of Godsend, and I think that window up there is Ole's. Now I've got the chance to point it out. The one that isn't as blanked out as the rest. Can't actually see her inside it, though. Master Colour said it very offhandedly, but the soul that the sleeper lost is us. We are this void soul, and what that actually means in the entire course of things, I can't really say. Are we trying to bring ourselves back to life?
How do I return? How can I ascend?
How do the sisters fit into it in that case? Are we trying to wake ourselves up from a coma? Are we trying to reawaken our own creativity? Every opinion I've discussed could lead to these possibilities. It really is a matter of your own interpretation. And for once, this isn't just an artsy cop-out. We've been given more than enough information to make our own minds up. I'm heading back the way we came because I've headed right to the start of this slightly off-center world. Godsend is gone, I could go back up to the rooftop to end this, or I could wait around and it would fade out naturally. If you're like me, then on your very first visit here, you'll try jumping between the rooftops, and find out that your possibly corporeal form has got very weak ankles. So I didn't do that before, you would have missed some information or some nice atmosphere, but I can do it now off this tree. Remember kids, death is relative. Turgor, the ultimate state of tension, will turn a man into a drawn and tightened bow. With tremendous force, even if the bow collapses from the shot, even if it is destroyed. The arrow could be sent where not even gravity can retrieve it. In all likelihood, it is impossible. So, who's up for giving it a try regardless? That journal entry told us that the Void would die in 5 cycles, which is roughly a sixth of the time as it's taken us to get this far, so it seems like a fair duration. Stick with me for the entirety of this episode, and we'll see how well that holds up. Here's my demonstration of what the breakthrough glyph does. If you look over here, we have about 270 units of violet. I'm now going to fill my heart with violet and gold, which gives away today's winner, and that is Ole. It is your lucky day. I doubt this is a surprise to anyone. She was the clear favourite throughout the entire vote. At first it looked like she might be in some contention with one or even two of the sisters, but it just kept piling up. There was some brilliant propaganda that I in no way condone, and I'm going to assume that that had everything to do with it. Now, first and most importantly, what does this mean for me? Well, Ole is right at the top, which means that among the sisters, she requires the most colour to open up her hearts. She shares this irritating prestige with Yanni. The four sisters on the tier below require less, and Uta and Ava require the least. You've made this as hard as you possibly could on me, since gold is much scarcer than azure. So, thanks for the thought. I'm going to head up this right path since I saw some excellent stocks of violet and gold, and the colours that your chosen sister favours should be your singular obsession through this final part of the game. We have a full vial of violet, and yet there aren't any messages telling us that we're wasting colour. During breakthrough, colour stops converting if there's no more room for it, and this will allow us to eventually fill ourselves up completely. I'm going to rush through these chambers as quick as I can, just finding the colour and skedaddling, because we'll be going through a lot of them, and I also hope to visit as many different chambers as I can, but obviously I have no control over that.
Now go. Fill yourself to overflowing to reach Turgor, a state of unbearable tension that will result in death and a new birth. Don't regret leaving. Don't regret anything. Humans are given more than one void to live, provided they can find the strength to finish each of them with a breakthrough. If you wish to entrust a sister with creating a new world, go to her. If all her hearts are full and she's free, draw the breakthrough glyph on her. If you can gather the courage to build the new world by yourself, head into the adit and draw the breakthrough glyph on yourself, spirit. Forward and higher. There is nothing else I can do here.
It's been suggested in the past that we could ascend ourselves. Aya has said, a couple of times in no uncertain terms, that it would be a terrible idea. But now Master Color has told us that we can actually do it in-game. But we're here to ascend a sister, so scrunch up that thought and throw it right out. Right, there was a violet deposit in here somewhere, but I'm being bombarded upon... I'm being dive-bombed, so I'm going to leave right now. Now it's time to go through the votes. I'm going to get the apologising out of the way straight off because I am going to pronounce some names wrong, so sorry for that. And if you submitted your vote after the time that I set, or if you didn't give any detail in it, then I couldn't accept it. So, sorry again. Two sisters had the least number of votes. Hardly any representation at all, with only 3 each for Ire, the plump woman in the tree, and Echo, the travelling loon with the fan. Firstly, even though Ire had so few votes, she had one of the largest numbers of people who chose her based on the feelings invoked by her chamber. Both Ashtir and Mayor McCheese mentioned this point. It is very serene, and maybe the new world would do much better the second time round if we gave them another shot at Eden. Mayor McCheese mentioned her maturity, and Coin mentioned her tiredness.
I will give you the power to control time.
It's always nice to bring colour back into the life of an older person, but I think therein lies the problem. It's a very residual choice. There's nothing wrong with Ire or any of the other sisters. Some are just not as compelling as the others, which I think many people had a problem with when trying to make this choice. As for Echo, the voice of Dog chose her mainly because of her altruism, and this is again a problem with some of the lower voted sisters, because there seem to be other ones that show this trait to a far greater extent. He also said that he would have rather chosen Sister Death over Echo if she had been a choice, as did Kay Jetting, showing again that Echo is a very residual sister. Kay Jetting also said that she appeared more mature, confident, and able to take care of herself, which I think is a very good point and something that would be very useful in a new world. Most of the other sisters appear a little bit too naive or young to bear the burden that will be placed on them during the